Lexus claims the RX was the first premium hybrid SUV, but forget that for a second. The fact is, the third generation of this distinctive family car is priced alongside seriously capable opposition in the form of the BMW X5, Mercedes-Benz GLE and Volvo XC90. Though such illustrious company is going to be difficult to beat in terms of outright desirability or even cabin quality, we think this new Lexus offers a more tempting package when it comes to value for money, just so long as you can get over the imposing spindle grille and Regima-spec styling lines. Sensible choices RX 450 hours. Unlike the previous version, you've got a choice of two powertrains here, but we'd suggest the RX 450 hours hybrid is the only one worthy of consideration. It's quieter, cheaper to run and better to drive than the petrol-only 200 tons. With CO2 output of as little as 120 gkm and fuel economy acclaimed 54 miles per gallon, fleet drivers are a key market for the new RX, as well as trying to tempt private buyers away from their beloved established premium brands. There's the option of adaptive suspension, which again works better on the hybrid, but does a decent job of blurring the lines between comfortable cruiser and sporty SUV. We came away impressed with the refinement inside the RX, with more sound deadening and acoustic glass matching the hybrid powertrain's quieter running. Safe, sound and sturdy. Less capable is the infotainment system, which uses a 12.3-inch screen to display curiously old-fashioned graphics. It's controlled using the latest iteration of Lexus's remote touch interface, a small pillow-shaped control, but we found it clunky and counterintuitive to operate. We did love the Mark Levinson sound system on top-spec Premier models, integrating beautifully with the cabin and sounding fantastic, but you'll pay a lot for the privilege. A recent winner of a 5-star Euro NCAP award, you're not left wanting for safety equipment. As we alluded to earlier, each trim level comes with an impressive amount of toys compared to its rivals, too. Of course, one thing you can certainly count on with any Lexus product, the firm being the luxury wing of Toyota, is reliability. It's finished particularly well too, so while some of the materials on offer don't feel as highbrow as the competition, the way they're put together and the cabin never fails to impress. Should I buy one? So does the 2016 Lexus RX do enough to tempt buyers away from more established premium brands? It offers something different, you can tell that just by looking at it, and tempting running costs for private and fleet drivers mean it'll make a lot of people's short lists. To find out what it's like in more detail, read on for the full Lexus RX review. Choose between hybrid and petrol-only powertrains. Our pick is certainly the former. There are two powertrains on offer here in the UK, and unusually for a car in this class, neither is a diesel. They both use automatic gearboxes too, but with some fundamental differences. Lexus RX 450 hours hybrid. By far the most popular version for British car buyers will be the hybrid RX. Not only does it boast running costs that are difficult to ignore, but we found it the better car to drive too. It's quieter, smoother and suits the character of a premium SUV better, and it's quick, too. This powertrain features a 3.5-liter V6 petrol engine with 259 bhp and 335 Nm of torque, which is then coupled with an electric motor capable of producing the equivalent of 68 bhp and 139 Nm. Electrical energy is stored in a nickel metal hydride battery of the same size and weight as the previous RX's, but with a more advanced system to control how it meters out its power. With a total combined power output of 308 bhp available, it doesn't feel like a particularly slow car when you press on. The engine does get vocal if you ask a lot from it, but that's due more to the continuously variable transmission CVT gearbox, which keeps the engine at higher revs when accelerating hard. There's a surge of acceleration available if you do need to overtake, and setting off from a standstill will mean a 0.62 mph time of 7.7 seconds with a top speed of 124 mph. But it's when driving slowly and sedately that the 450 hours makes most sense. It's a joy to potter around in, trying your best to use the 2 miles of electric range to your full advantage. It is a shame there isn't a plug-in hybrid model for far lower running costs, though. RX 200 tons turbo petrol. Lexus has also chosen to introduce a turbocharged petrol engine to the lineup, dubbed the 200 tons. You're stuck with a conventional and slow-reacting 6-speed automatic gearbox, and ultimately while the engine pulls strongly in gear, that's its biggest problem. No matter how sharp the throttle response or exciting the 235 bhp 350 Nm combo is, you're always going to have to wait a fraction too long for the next gear. We didn't think it sounded particularly good either, which seems a shame, and with running costs on the expensive side of acceptable when compared with most rivals, it's difficult to make a case for the 200 tons unless you're absolutely dead set on an RX at the lower end of the price range. Several chassis options including adaptive suspension. Hybrid F Sport is the model we choose. If cornering performance is something that matters to you, you're probably looking at the wrong type of car. A high-riding SUV is always going to be flawed in this sense when compared with a saloon or estate, and it's no different with the RX. Still, that isn't to say it's a bad thing to pilot through a corner. We found the hybrid the more rewarding of the two because it seems to have a more neutral handling balance, presumably thanks to the extra rearward weight of the hybrid system. The electronically assisted steering feels accurate enough, if lacking in any sort of feedback. It feels fairly light and uninvolving on initial evaluation, though its weighting can be improved if you switch the drive mode select control to Sport. Adaptive suspension tested. We've yet to try an RX on standard suspension. All the cars on the international launch in Portugal had adaptive variable suspension AVS, which comes as standard on range-topping F Sport and Premier models. This is able to adapt itself to the road conditions automatically using a valve system in the dampers, or can be commanded into a stiffer Sport setup using the driving mode select system on the aforementioned higher-spec cars. There are differences in the way the two engines send power to the wheels, too, with the 200 tons using a less sophisticated part-time 4x4 system and the 450 hours a more accurate setup to accommodate the electric equipment it uses. Roll mitigation system on board. Lexus has developed a roll mitigation system for F Sport models, which uses active anti-roll bars to prevent undue body movement when cornering. Unfortunately, we didn't really notice the difference on our initial test drive. But when the RX arrives in the UK we'll be testing this further, hopefully along with a car on standard suspension. With all that in mind, keen drivers are going to be most rewarded by an RX 450h F Sport. The RX has a lovely cabin from what we've seen on higher spec models on the launch, with levels of fit and finish above some premium rivals. A few of the materials employed can feel slightly cheap, such as the steering wheel on premier-grade cars, but overall the quality seems to stack up with the price point this car occupies. We were less enamored with the navigation display on the 12.3-inch screen on higher-spec cars, though. We found the refresh rate was slow, the graphics looked decidedly dated and difficult to decipher, and the voice directions suffered with stunted speech. We're still not huge fans of the strange pillow-shaped joystick used to control the multimedia system either. On the plus side, visibility is great thanks to a high yet comfortable driving position, which is easy to alter thanks to the range of adjustment on offer on both the seats and steering column. More sound deadening, acoustic glass. F Sport gets great sports seats. A lot of work has been done to improve the refinement inside the cabin, so Lexus RX comfort levels are higher than they ever have been. Again, it's the hybrid you'll want if this is a concern. It's far quieter during normal driving and smoother too. There's an impressive absence of wind and road noise in all models thanks to the installation of extra sound deadening and acoustic glass. We loved the sports seats in F Sport models, finding them supportive yet comfy, but the seats in luxury cars we tried were impressive in their own right too. Our only small gripe here concerns the F Sport 200 tons model we drove on the launch. Its suspension never seemed to settle down, even on the motorway, making for bumpy progress not unlike minor turbulence in an aircraft. In total there are 5 trim levels on offer here, S, say, Luxury, F Sport and Premier. They're not all available with both powertrains, though, with S only available on the 200 tons, while SE and Premier specifications are exclusively reserved for the 450 hours hybrid. Standard Lexus RX equipment. This is a well-equipped car, with standard kit on all models including dual-zone climate control, tinted rear windows, heated front seats, sat-nav with an 8-inch screen, a 9-speaker audio system featuring DAB digital radio, a reversing camera, LED headlamps, roof rails and twin chrome-deeped exhaust tailpipes. Moving up to SE sees the introduction of an auto-dimming rear view and door mirrors, leather upholstery, 8-way adjustable heated and ventilated front seats, and memory functions for the location of steering wheel, driver's seat and door mirrors. You don't get roof rails, though. By far the best-selling trim is expected to be luxury, which Lexus claims will make up to half of all RX sales. This includes leather upholstery, heated and ventilated front seats with memory function, the Lexus Premium Navigation System, a 12.3-inch screen to display multimedia output and sat-nav, a DVD player, 20-inch alloy wheels, the powered tailgate with no touch opening explained in the practicality section, LED headlights, a wireless smartphone charger if your device is compatible, and automatically dimming door mirrors with a memory function. Expected to make up a further 30% of sales, F-Sport cars get a more distinctive front grille along with tweaked front and rear bumpers, black door mirror housings and special 20-inch alloys. Inside there are sport seats, a sports steering wheel, perforated leather upholstery, drilled aluminum pedals and a specific illumination design for both instrument panel and doors. F-Sport nets you a larger 8-inch instrument panel too, which features a large circular gauge with a rev counter and digital speed readout. The adaptive variable suspension AVS is also thrown in along with specific tuning for the steering, low-speed cornering fog lights and sunshades on the rear doors. Finally, Premier Grade has a huge amount of equipment. Special semi-nylon leather adorns the seats, while the front ones are powered, adjustable 10 ways, and feature a memory function. There's a color head-up display, an impressive 15-speaker Mark Levinson surround sound audio system, a 360-degree around view monitor for ease of parking in tight spaces and a heated steering wheel. You've also got the choice of a sunroof or an opening panoramic glass roof. Optional Lexus RX accessories. Since its trim levels are so well appointed, there aren't huge amount of optional extras available for the RX. A panoramic glass roof is available along with a number of upgrades for the seats, stereo and styling. A head-up display can be ordered separately, and ditto a detachable tow bar. Other options include styling upgrades such as paint finishes and various packs to individualize your car. 5 stars at Euro NCAP. Lots of standard kit more available on higher trims. Take one look at the kit on board and it's clear that on the Lexus RX, safety is paramount. The body structure has been developed with strength and rigidity in mind, while each car gets 10 airbags dotted around the cabin. It's these core traits which helped the RX score the maximum 5 stars in Euro NCAP crash tests, the car doing particularly well for both adult and child occupant protection. Comprehensive suite of safety systems. The Lexus Safety System Plus is an all-encompassing name for much of the rest of the onboard safety equipment, and features a front-mounted camera along with radar to provide warning of an impending crash, extra braking force if the car detects it needs it, and finally automatic braking if the driver doesn't take the appropriate action. This system includes adaptive cruise control. Also thrown into the Safety System Plus is an active lane-keeping assistance feature, which warns and then steers you back into your lane if the car detects you drifting without intending to or without using the indicator. As well as steering you back, it also vibrates the wheel to let you know it's operating. An automatic high-beam headlight system and traffic sign recognition feature too, while Premier models get an adaptive high-beam system which adjusts beam distribution to avoid dazzling other road users instead of simply switching to dipped beams. Sway warning is a further standard feature, which can detect swaying caused by driver fatigue or distraction, warning that they should really take a break. More kit available on higher trims. On Premier models there's yet more safety kit, with a 360-degree parking monitor along with a blind spot monitor warning of vehicles in the car's blind spot, rear cross-traffic alert for pulling out of parking spaces, and the parking assist monitor, which features lines on the screen of the parking camera to make parking easier. Front and rear audible parking sensors are included too. Larger than previous RX-powered tailgate in option, it's a longer and wider car than ever, and so Lexus RX comfort levels have understandably improved. There's more than adequate space for 4 adults, but it's worth noting that some rivals will seat 7, albeit in less comfort. A 5th passenger is a possibility in the RX, but actually it's going to be a squeeze between 2 adults sitting in the back. Still, front and rear passengers get loads of headroom and leg space, and the split rear bench slides forward to allow a little leeway between rear cabin room and boot room. The luggage area itself measures 453 liters with the rear seats up and 924 liters with them folded away. Standard on luxury and above cars is a powered tailgate which features a neat opening system where you simply hold your hand over the Lexus badge on the tailgate for a few seconds. Unfortunately, we found not only did you have to wait too long for the boot to start moving, but it took ages to fully open as well. Not ideal when it's raining and you've got a load of shopping to load into the car.